Act 1, Scene 3. On the street of Venice, Bassanio demands the loan of 3,000 ducats or gold coins from Shylock, a Jewish money lender on Antonio's credit, keeping the condition that they will repay it within 3 months. However, Shylock is quite doubtful about Antonio's wealth and his guarantee of the loan because he has invested all his money on the sea. He's got a ship bound to Tripoli and another to the Indies, even more ships to Mexico, England, and several others, which seems risky, and he is broke too. So, he would like to speak to Antonio first. Bassanio invites him to dinner where he can also meet Antonio. Shylock says that he doesn't mind hanging out with Christians, although they dine with pork that is not acceptable to Jews. He will walk and talk with Christian but doesn't want to eat, drink and pray with them. Meanwhile, Antonio arrives on the scene. Very nastily, Shylock, in an aside, confesses his hatred for the man and confesses that he hates Antonio because he is a Christian. Moreover, he hates Antonio about what he does in the marketplace because he lends money with free charge of interest, and it is not a good idea for any money lenders like Shylock. He is also angry by Antonio's frequent public criticisms of Shylock. Antonio makes it clear that he doesn't have the habit of borrowing or lending money, but is done for his friend Bassanio. Shylock calculates the interest on Bassanio's loan. While doing so, it will remind him about Antonio's ill treatment towards him and how he cursed him. Shylock even shares a short story from the Bible about Jacob's dealings with his uncle Laban about his sheep. Antonio mocks on Shylock's attempts to use an example from the Bible as justification for charging interest. On the other hand, he also remembers about Antonio spitting upon Jewish garments. He points out that Antonios believe in not charging or not paying interest. Thus, Shylock agrees to offer loans of the 3,000 ducats to Bassanio without interest. But, he isn't having the cash on hand and says that he will borrow from his fellow Jews from Tubal, and lend to Bassanio for the period of 3 months. Although, Antonio avoid borrowing money where the interest is involved, but he says that he can do anything for the sake of his friend. Meanwhile, in connection with the lending of money, Shylock says that he will play a fun game with Antonio, where both of them will go to the notary and sign a document stating that Antonio, upon failing to repay on time, will bear the penalty of a pound of his own flesh off his body from wherever Shylock chooses. Bassanio remains suspicious of the arrangement and insists Antonio that it isn't really necessary for Antonio to risk his flesh. Bassanio thinks that there is something wicked going on in the mind of Shylock, but Antonio was confident about his ships that it will arrive within the next 2 months. Thus, they agree to meet at the notary, and finally Shylock hand over the money.